Hi, I'm Joe. I'm back with a new podcast. Today, I'd like to bust a little bit of myth about ukulele strings. Okay, especially what I've been hearing a lot lah, in the local ukulele communities around Singapore. Okay, and I've heard this kind of stuff for the past couple of years, past few years lah. Okay, so it's not something that I just heard last week or the week before. No, okay, it's been stuff that has been going around for a long time. I've been hearing that over and over again. Okay, and I like to really, for the record, just set things straight and right once and for all. Okay. First and foremost, right, for ukulele strings, even though there are various brands and they have so many different types of ukulele strings out there. Okay, but generally speaking, across different multiple manufacturers and brands, I would say that there are actually four types. Okay, four main types of ukulele strings. Okay, so the first type, right, is basically what we call the clear nylons. Okay, those of you who are familiar with the Dario or Diadario, whatever you pronounce the name, the Dario or Diadario brand strings. Okay, they fall under the EJ65 series. Okay, uh, yeah, they fall under the EJ65 series. So one thing about the first one is actually the clear strings. Okay, and the second one are actually I would say the second ones are actually the fluorocarbon strings, okay, or what you call FC strings, fluorocarbon strings. The third type is also what you call the Naugat strings, okay. Naugat is probably the most popular, the ones which are made by Aquila, the white color ones, okay, white color Naugats. And also, of course, I would like to talk a little bit later about fake Naugats. There are even fake Naugats, by the way. Yeah, yeah. So be careful when you buy such strings, okay. Uh, and the last one is probably a little lesser known than the rest. Okay, uh, probably not very well known among the instructors who teach only strum and sing, but well known among the fingerstyle instructors. People who play fingerstyle, they know it very well. Okay, the last one is actually the titanium strings. Okay, so we have like four categories. We have clears, we have fluorocarbons, we have Nauguts, and we have titaniums. Okay, now the word titanium for this particular type of string is just a name. Okay, it doesn't mean that there's any form of titanium inside the string. Okay, that won't be possible lah. Okay, because it's going to cost you a bomb. They're going to sell you a real titanium string set. Okay, but it's just a fanciful name. They call it titaniums. And how you know whether the string is titanium or not is very simple. Usually it's written on a package. If not, when you take out the string, it's you can see that it's actually like a clear string, but there's a very nice bluish hue to it. Okay, you can see there's a bluish hue. You can see it's like bluish in color. Okay, it's clear and then it's bluish as well. Okay, sometimes it can be depending on the brand. Sometimes it can be purple. Okay, it can be purple or bluish. Okay, so it's purplish or bluish. Okay, so those are the what you call the titanium strings. Okay, now let's get into one by one each category. Okay, so the first one, clear strings. Okay, specifically clear strings. Actually, I mean quite a number of brands actually make clear strings lah. Okay, we have I think the Dario EJ65 or the Savares clear strings as well. They also make Savares ukulele strings, which are clear. Okay, so the clear nylons are basically just regular nylons. Okay, they are very clear. They are clear. So basically, their tonality. Now tonality falls into two different two ends of the spectrum. Okay, they either fall under very mellow. Okay, they either fall under very mellow on the left, or they fall under very bright on the right. Okay, so it really depends on what you're talking about lah. Okay, so for the clear nylons, okay, I would say that they fall somewhere probably in the middle. Okay, and again, it is not a definitive not a definitive explanation, because different manufacturers, they also have different chemical formulas, okay, for their nylons. Okay, so not necessarily all nylons will always be created equally. Okay, some will sound a little bit more mellow, some will sound a little bit brighter. Okay, so it really depends. But generally speaking, the clear nylons fall in somewhere in the middle and slightly a bit more to the bright side, slightly. Okay, just very slightly. Okay, so that's it for clear nylons. Okay, uh, second one that I mentioned is FC fluorocarbon strings. And what exactly are fluorocarbon strings? Okay, what exactly before you can actually understand what are fluorocarbon strings, you have to know what exactly is fluorocarbon. Okay, and I can tell you something that a lot of fake instructors out there do not know about this. So I'm going to teach you guys and tell you what fluorocarbon actually means. Okay, fluorocarbon strings are basically very unique. They are created from I do believe that they actually use nylon as well, and they either coat the nylon with fluorocarbon itself, or they kind of like mix it into the nylon mix as well before they actually create the string. Okay, so fluorocarbon is basically it's basically the same material that you guys find on non-stick frying pans. Okay, like your Teflon pans and things like that. They actually have that. It's kind of like, you notice there's a special kind of layer on the pan that prevents the whatever you're cooking from sticking to the pan. Okay, so if you fry like a fillet or steak or something like that on inside the pan, it will not stick to the pan. Even if you do not add oil to the pan, it will not stick. Okay, because fluorocarbon is very slippery. Okay, so yeah, it's actually quite nice for the fingers. You slide from thread to thread, you don't feel any friction because it's very smooth. Okay, um, I kind of like fluorocarbons as well, but the thing about fluorocarbons is that they fall a little bit on the bright side. That means they're very bright. Okay, they have very a lot of brightness in them. And one of the things which I don't really exactly like about fluorocarbons is because of the material of fluorocarbon, okay, being used in the string, it changes the property of the strings. It actually creates a little bit of a harder string. Okay, what do I mean by harder string? Is that when you play, right, when you hold down notes, when you press on the fretboard, when you hold down notes or chords, you can feel the fluorocarbon strings. They are a little bit harder on the fingers, and it does hurt the fingers. I notice it like for example, if I play on like regular clear nylons, I could probably like play for hours, maybe a couple of hours non-stop. But the moment I use fluorocarbon strings, right, I would like, my practice time will be cut in half, maybe like 30 minutes or 40 minutes. I'll start feeling the pain on my fingertips, okay? Because they really are hard on the fingers, okay? Uh, Naturally, of course, because they're harder, this means that there's an increase in tension, which means that fluorocarbon strings have a slightly higher tension than regular clear nylons, okay? Okay, so that's about it for fluorocarbon without going in too technical. Okay, without getting too technical in depth. That's it for fluorocarbons. Now the third category I want to talk about is the Aquila now gut. Okay, now the now gut technology is very interesting because this was something that was created or originally created by Aquila, and I think Dia Dario bought over this technology, or I don't know how they somehow managed to have some agreement with Aquila. They got their hands on the technology as well. So Dario created their own line of they call it Nyltech, okay, NYLTC, Nyltech, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so Nylgut, New Tech or Nyltech, whatever. Okay, but what really makes this string so easily identifiable is that you can see that these strings are whitish in color. They're whitish, okay, milky white, okay, milky white in color, and they are very warm. They have a very warm kind of tone when you strum it or you pick notes. It has a very warm tone in it. As compared to fluorocarbons, which are very bright when you pick it, lah. Okay, so yeah, so the new gut technology is a very warm because they actually simulate real gut strings. Okay, so just a little bit of history, like what exactly are gut strings. Traditionally, gut strings were made from things like sheep intestine. Okay, I'm not sure what other animals they use, but this is as far as I know. They use sheep intestines to actually make they use sheep intestines to make gut strings in the past. Okay, so they will actually lay out the intestine of the animal. They would cut it into strands, and then they would kind of like twist them together, braid them together to form a string, and they will stretch it out on racks and let it dry. So after it dries, they'll use sandpaper to sand down the strings or something like that to make it smooth. Okay. So traditionally strings were actually gut strings. I mean, this was before the invention of of nylon strings. Okay, nylon strings came about quite late lah. I think they came about either in the late 50s, mid 50s or late 50s. I can't remember, or maybe in the 60s, maybe 1960, around 1960. Um, the company that created nylon strings originally was a company called DuPont. Okay, DuPont created. DuPont's still around, by the way. I have a friend working at DuPont. Okay, yeah. So the company is still around. They still deal with plastics and things like that, and yeah, nylon strings were created by them originally. Okay, so prior to the invention of nylon, everybody, I mean, as long as you're a string player, whether you're a guitar player or whether you are a uke player, a ukulele player, you're always using gut strings. Okay, and I mean, of course, gut strings have fallen out of production, and of course today they are really expensive lah. They go for somewhere around $20 plus per string, not per set. Okay, per string. No kidding, it's very expensive. Okay, so anyway, okay, we won't discuss gut strings for now. I'm going a little bit off topic actually. So okay, back to now gut. Okay, so the purpose of now gut um, is actually to kind of like be a replacement for gut strings. Okay, because people wanted that very warm kind of tone that only gut strings can provide, because they found that nylon strings are a little bit bright. Okay, and some people just don't like the brightness. They want very warm kind of tones. Okay, so the now gut strings or the now tech strings were created to create that very warm kind of tone. Okay, okay, so that's it for now gut. Now the final one is actually the final category is actually what you call titanium. Okay, titanium has been around for a couple of years, really. I think quite long. I can't remember exactly when it came about, but I would believe that titanium actually, the so-called the titanium category of strings, they originated from very high quality fishing lines that are used for deep sea fishing. Okay, if I'm not wrong, I might be wrong about this. Okay, so if anyone knows, please correct me. Uh, I think companies like Sigua and all that who actually makes very high quality fishing lines. So the material they use, and they call it the monofilament strings. Okay, I mean, of course, obviously, the modern day titanium strings that we use are not exactly fishing lines. Okay, they are specifically created for ukuleles or guitars. Okay, so titanium strings are actually very much titanium strings are very much like fluorocarbons. Interestingly enough, okay, in terms of projection and brightness, I think they are almost on par. I think almost at the same level as fluorocarbon, minus that slippery kind of feel, because fluorocarbon has a certain problem with it in the sense that it's very slippery. Okay, some people don't like that slippery feeling because you know when you slide from chord to chord, you actually overslide and go to somewhere else. Okay, when you slide from note to note or from chord to chord, you might overslide, you might get too far away. I do have that problem with fluorocarbon as well. So I think that probably one those of I mean those who actually don't like fluorocarbon, but they still want that very bright projecting kind of sound, they might want to go for titaniums. Again, titanium strings, because of that characteristics that's very much like fluorocarbon, they are a little bit more how I put it, they are a little bit harder on the fingers as well. Okay, they're a little bit harder, same as fluorocarbon. Okay, and the tension is definitely same like fluorocarbon, a little bit higher than having regular clear nylon strings. Okay, so yeah, this four categories. Okay, clear, clear nylons, um, fluorocarbons, Nowgut or Nowtech, and titaniums. Okay, these are the four main categories of strings that you can actually buy. Okay, so now here's the myth busting part of this video. I've been hearing a lot of weird stories, a lot of weird stuff that people have been telling me over the past couple of years. People have been telling me stuff like, oh, this string is better than the other string. Like some of them will tell me like, oh, Wolf strings are better and superior to everything else. And Wolf strings are fluorocarbon, by the way. Okay, I'm not saying they're bad. Okay, I'm just saying that they are fluorocarbon, by the way. Okay, and I've heard some of these like fake instructors who go around telling people that, oh, Wolf strings is the best, better than everything else. And I've heard some of these fake instructors who go around telling people that the Aquila lava strings, okay, and again, I'm not saying that lava is bad. I think they sound pretty good too if you like that kind of warm tone, and a kind of very smooth, silky feel, yeah, by all means, buy the Aquila lava strings. But I've heard fake instructors who say that, oh, lava is a superior string, better than everything else. I've heard this kind of arguments. Okay, and I've even heard a lot of, yeah. I think basically the ones I've heard is mainly no. Yeah, the last argument I heard is that some of these fake instructors even go around telling people that you cannot use any other strings except null gut. Okay, except nil gut or null gut. Okay, they say the rest are all lousy. It's only null gut which is good. And I find that these people, right, who actually make such weird comments about strings, if you notice something similar among all their arguments, as in they condemn all the other strings, and they particularly they have kind of like a personal preference for only one type of string. Okay, most of these fake instructors who have only preference for one type of string, okay, or maybe one or two type of strings lah. Okay, they tend to be people. If you look at them, they all have one thing in common. First of all, they don't play fingerstyle, or even if they do, they are horrible fingerstyle players. Okay, in other words, they cannot play anything that is really like chord melody or a complex form of chord melody well. Okay, they are very bad at playing. They maybe just pick single notes. Okay, that's all they do. They are unable to pull off any of those chord melody kind of playing styles that I have actually demonstrated in my video. And those of you who have actually seen on Facebook replies by Mona or Tommy and things like that, or maybe Porto, okay, you've seen the replies and you've seen them playing their chord melody fingerstyle solos. Okay, none of the fake instructors are able to play like that. Okay, and the ones making all these false assumptions about strings, this string being superior to that string being superior to this string, and so on and so forth. The ones making all these false claims and assumptions, they are the ones who can't play. They cannot play at all, okay? They probably just go around picking single notes, and they try to play stuff which only uses single notes. And some of them can't even play single notes properly, okay? They go out of timing, they go, I don't know, it's like there's a whole bunch of weird things going on in Singapore right now, okay? And I want to sound out loud and tell people that, that these are all fake kind of information that's floating around, okay? The thing is that for strings wise, okay, the truth is that even though I might have my own personal preference for strings, but I wouldn't tell people that only this string is better than the rest or that string is better than the rest. No. In fact, I will actually, if you ask me, I'll tell you, I'll say, I will ask you back, in fact, and I'll ask you, what kind of tone exactly do you want? Do you want something that's more mellow, or do you want something more bright, or do you want something that's more balanced? Okay, so if you say that, I want something that's in between, I don't want too bright or too mellow, I say go for the clears, go for the clear nylons. Okay, go for the EJ65, whatever. Those are the clear nylons. Those are balanced. They're in between. They're neither too bright nor too mellow. Okay, if you're the kind of person who loves warm kind of tones, you like warm kind of tones, I'll tell you, by all means, please go for Aquilas or go for the lava strings, because those are warm and nice. Okay, if you're the kind that loves bright kind of strings, if you do fingerstyle classical, by the way, if you play classical music on the ukulele in fingerstyle, chord melody fingerstyle, not single note kind of fake kind of classical playing, but the real ones, okay, if you do that sort of stuff, you might want to check out fluorocarbons, okay, which basically it can be anything lah. It doesn't matter which brand. You can be using fluorocarbons which are made by the Dario or even like a Wolf and things like that. It doesn't matter what brand you're using, okay. Because fluorocarbon is the same material, it's used by the industry, okay. I mean, of course, different brands, they have different gauges in the strings lah. So, for example, like maybe the Wolf gauge, you may not really like the Wolf gauge, it might be too thin or too thick, whatever. So that is something that you have to explore and know for yourself whether you like it or not. Okay. I mean, the best way is that if you just buy a string one time and you don't like it, then forget it. Just go for a different brand. Okay. What works for one doesn't work for another. So my advice to you is always look for whatever strings that you like and you think that works for you, and use it. Stick with it. Okay. But the thing is that before you make any kind of assumptions, and before you, especially if you are, or rather if you claim to be an instructor, and and you go around telling people that, hey, no, now that is the best string, or worst strings are the best, before you make such assumptions, such false assumptions, okay, I would like you to take a video yourself playing some form of chord melody solo that is impressive, and to showcase that you actually do possess that level of finger style ability, playing ability, before you make this kind of statements, okay? Because when you make such statements, you are actually misleading people. You're misleading everyone else who do not know any better. But when you go up against the people who can really play fingerstyle, the people who know fingerstyle and teach fingerstyle, you know, your argument falls flat on its face. Okay? So please, okay, don't make false assumptions about strings when you don't even understand anything about strings. Okay? So the thing is that, like I said, okay, for me it's like I don't tell students this string is better than that, or that string is better than this, because I always say that, what do you like? You want something more mellow, or you want something more bright, or you want something that's in between, okay, more balanced. So yeah, I mean whatever works for you lah, you know. But don't say that that is the only string that you should use. Okay, yeah, this is the myth that's been floating around Singapore. So I wanted to bust this myth, because this kind of myth, because I heard too much. And then when I asked them who taught you this kind of thing, and they tell me, oh yeah, so and so, this instructor taught me this, and I'm like, so your instructor tells you that this string is superior? Does he play fingerstyle, chord melody fingerstyle? And they look at me blur and they say, what's that? And I say, wait, your instructor doesn't play chord melody fingerstyle, and he's telling you that this string is superior? Are you sure? Those of us who are real fingerstyle players, we can tell you that this string is actually not good for playing fingerstyle. and you can see the look on their faces, they actually get shocked by it, like, huh, really? You know? So it's like, I mean, there's so much myth that's going on in the local community in Singapore nowadays. Okay, so yeah, do take note lah. No, I mean, this video is not meant to score anybody for using any kind of strings. That's not the purpose of this video. Okay, like I told you, it's really up to your personal preference. But rather, the video is actually to go and tell those fake instructors that you cannot make an assumption and teach people the wrong thing. You cannot tell them, say that, oh, this string is superior to that string, and that string is superior to this string. There's no such thing. Okay, it really is all about the material. If you understand what the string material is made up of, okay, regardless of what brand it is, you will understand the characteristics of that string. Okay, so if you tell me, okay, brand XYZ fluorocarbon, immediately I'm able to give you an instant, I can give you an instant description of what the tone will sound like. Despite me not having played that string before, I can tell you immediately. Okay, that's because I understand what materials the strings are made from. Okay, so once you understand the materials which the strings are made from, you can actually understand what kind of tonal characteristic it actually has. Okay, that's how it works lah. Okay, and the thing is that you will only be able to really hear and know the tonal characteristics of the string, provided you are a good fingerstyle player. Okay, if you don't play fingerstyle, or you're a lousy fingerstyle player, you will not be able to test this kind of thing. All the strings will sound the same to you. Or rather, you may just play Aquila and you might just say, oh yeah, I think Naugat is the superior one. You know? No, there's no such thing. Okay? So before you make a kind of judgment call, make sure that you actually possess the level of skill to even make that call in the first place. And I hope all this clarifies everything lah, about strings lah, okay? In my next video, I'm going to talk about tone woods and ukuleles, because that has another side of the myth that's being perpetuated in Singapore, which I find hilarious lah. You know, I really want to put it to rest once and for all. Okay. Okay. So anyway, thank you very much for watching the video, and have a nice day lah. Okay.